Let's go straight to Big Bazaar to Rahul to get a sense of what else in that marketplace is going to be more expensive and what will be cheaper.
Rajdeep, we've been busy at work going through all the various counters here at the Big Bazaar, putting together a more comprehensive list to help our viewers understand how this budget impacts their wallet, because that's the number that everyone is frankly interested in. The Finance Minister can keep talking about his fiscal numbers. This is the shopping trolley that people have when they go out, and that's what they're most interested in. There are several new items we've been able to pull out of the stores, so we'll start with them. Sonali, why don't you tell us what's happening with laptops, with with your tablets and your phones?
So my name is Saloni.
Yeah.
So inputs which are required for smart cards, there's been a reduction in in excise duty, as well as for LED bulbs. So that has been reduced, the excise duty. As far as tablets and computers are concerned, the tablets and computers.
So how much, say, does an iPad or a Samsung tablet become cheaper by as a percentage, roughly?
So essentially, a tablet or the facility has been given to a manufacturer of a tablet or a computer to opt for a 1% excise duty scheme. So rather than paying 12%, he has the option of paying it at 1%, but without taking credit. So he'll need to do a costing, but the variance is of 11%.
Okay, there's also going to be a difference visible in all these smart cards.
Yes.
So why are they called smart cards and what's the difference?
So
these are very costly cards as far as I'm concerned. Why are they smart cards and what's the difference?
Smart cards actually have a chip in them, so you can use it at at various points. Your phone even has your SIM card is a smart card. It has an ability to perform a particular function. So there is in technology, so that's why it's known as a smart card. So
what's the impact then?
So inputs which are used for making a smart card, those have been reduced. The customs or the excise duty has been reduced on them.
How much cheaper would they become then?
Difficult to estimate the actual final price, but it should reduce.
Okay. There was also something about plastic. So there's a change in where are all the plastic bags? Okay, here they are. So this is a garbage bag, but all kinds of plastic. What's the Finance Minister done?
So plastic bags have gone up. The excise duty rate on plastic bags has gone up.
So all kinds of bags. So it's not just
12% to 18%.
Wow.
So plastic bags have gone up.
So that's like a disincentive for people to use plastic.
Absolutely, it's a disincentive. It's going to be environment friendly. I just want to come back to that smart card bit. You know, it ties in very well with the entire inclusion theme of the government, because you have RuPay cards now that are being given out as part of Jan Dhan, which is also a smart card. So it's going to make smart cards more accessible by everybody. It's going to make it cheaper for the banks to give out these cards. So it ties in very well with the entire financial inclusion goal that the government has been pursuing.
Okay, what about processed foods? And there's also something on aerated drinks.
Correct. Aerated drinks, the rate's gone up for aerated drinks as well as mineral water.
So how much would a Pepsi or a Coke become costlier by?
So today it's gone up from 12% to 18%. So it's gone up by 6%. So
that's quite steep.
Yeah, it's gone up.
So I don't think Jaitley or Modi want anyone to have fun, right? Because they've made watching movies costlier. They've made going out and eating food costlier.
So this budget has really looked at some structural reforms, so there are no short-term gains in this, and increase of service tax is important from a revenue point of view, but there are several things that the Modi-Jaitley team has done which should have been thought of earlier, like the gold monetization scheme. I think it's a fantastic idea. We have like $1 trillion worth of gold lying in households, and if that's used towards creating assets, it's going to give a huge boost to the economy. So yes, as in, for the common man at the moment, there isn't much.
There are more products I want to look at, but I want to speak to Mr. Jakar about farm produce, because there's a sense that there isn't enough of a focus on vegetables, fruits. What's your sense of that?
I think the budget is good in the sense that it talks about incentivizing food processing, which helps farmers market.
How does that help farmers?
Because see, there's a lot of produce which consumers don't buy because it doesn't look good, but it is very healthy and it is very edible, and so that can go into food processing, so they get value for something that they were not getting otherwise. And a lot of long-term things have been announced in the budget which will be good for farming and will make food more accessible and will control food inflation.
I want to get some reactions from some consumers who are here shopping as well. Ma'am, have you had an opportunity to go through? They're making watching movies more expensive. It's also making going out and eating food more expensive. That couldn't be good news, is it?
Not at all. Fun expensive for students. They're making fun expensive.
That's
Exactly. That's never a good thing. Not for us. Not for us at all.
Okay, let's get some more reactions. Ma'am, you've been shopping and looking very... You were also watching a large part of the budget speech. So what's your sense of what Mr. Jaitley?
See, budget should be... See, the basic things should be... Basic things, materials should be get cheaper. So, I mean, the amenity items can be...
You're okay if luxury items become more expensive. You're saying basics in life should become cheaper. Are basics in life becoming costlier or cheaper, Shweta? That's the question she has. She says, okay, she's not so worried about going out watching movies and having fun. She says, if Shweta can afford it, that's just good. She says that let it be, basics should become cheaper. Are basics becoming cheaper or more expensive?
So what might be basics for you might not be basics for her. So that definition varies. But food is going to get cheaper, which is good. Vegetables are going to get cheaper. Water is not getting cheaper.
So what happens to water? Saloni?
Cheaper.
This time I got your name right. I'm sorry about that. What happens to water?
Water again becomes expensive. It's
more
the same.
expensive.
Yeah.
So
same
by
as aerated waters, aerated drinks. Same 12 to 18.
So it seems to be in some senses, Shweta, a rather anti-common use product budget. Like whatever people, we've been out shopping for a while now, and whatever we're picking up seems to be getting costlier.
See, I wouldn't call it anti. Well, anti.
As far as vegetables get cheaper, I think everybody's going to be happy.
Everyone's going to be happy because this is the most basic thing, actually.
So what's the impact on vegetable prices?
I think the budget gives the roadmap for long-term dividends to India, and we're not going to see any short-term gains on this. But this lays the foundation for long-term controlled food inflation, and that's.
But how long before the impact starts registering on our wallet? Because that's essentially all that we're interested in.
As far as because last year the budget was 2.5 hours. This time it's a very small budget speech, so there's a lot that you need to go back home and read the fine print, the annexures to know where the allocation.
And the finance minister once again had problems with his back. He announced some incentives for yoga. I think he should bring a lot of yoga himself.
So yeah, health and wellness. There seems to be a focus on that.
And that's when Modi thumped the hardest. He was most excited when that yoga announcement was made.
Right. Talking about the common man, there's a lot of focus on entrepreneurship and innovation and people skill development in villages. These are decisions and moves which will have a great impact.
So why don't you explain that a bit? What's the government trying to do? What specifically has been announced, and what's the impact you think it has, say, on villages or towns when it comes to entrepreneurship and skill development?
The only way to make farmers prosper, which is 50% of India, rural India prosper, is to get people jobs off the farms, because there's too many people dependent on very little land. And I think so this skill development helps that. Make in India helps that. So I think so everything is a big jigsaw puzzle which seems to be fitting in, but we shouldn't expect it to show results in the next 1 year.
Okay. On leather shoes, what's the change, ma'am? Saloni?
Leather shoes above 1,000 rupees. There's a reduction in the excise duty from.
So how much does this pair of shoe become cheaper by?
6%.
6%. So it's not on sports shoes. It's only on leather shoes.
Leather.
Is it just leather shoes, or will it include all leather products?
I think we'll have to see the fine print. But what I heard, I thought was leather shoes.
Leather specifically, no synthetics or anything.
Leather, so they want to, because again it's an employment generating segment.
Okay,
so
let's just take it to the first trolley. On the first trolley we've got all these products, whether it's a tambaku, whether it's cigarette. So how much does a regular box of cigarettes become costlier by, sir?
So actually, I just understand that the rates have increased in the range of 15 to 25%. So I had earlier said that it would probably be around 10%.
Won't be happy at all.
Yes, yes. Then so these are sin products as far as finance ministers are concerned.
Yeah, it's very easy to penalize people. What happens to
long-term dividend to health by taxing cigarettes?
So he incentivizes yoga and he imposes penalties if you smoke.
And gives incentives to organic farming.
Organic farming.
I think
as well.
first finance minister
Is there any change in the price of alcohol?
Alcohol comes under the state list, so that won't form
That doesn't come here.
And that's been kept out of GST so far, right?
Correct,
Alcohol is exempted from GST.
Okay, so explain to our viewers just for a moment, once the goods and services tax is implemented, how will the pricing of some of these products start? Let me start with you, Mr. Jaitley.
I would say it's just
because that's just like 12 months away
So
now.
I'm just saying allowing free movement of fruits and vegetables would reduce prices for people in the cities. And that's the whole idea, that there are no restrictions on where a farmer sells and where he buys, and that will make us see difference in the whole thing. Another thing he announced was a unified national agriculture marketing paradigm, and I think so that will also help reduce prices and control food inflation.
And Mudra.
Okay, ma'am wants to make a quick point. Yes, ma'am. What's your sense of the budget and what do you think? Yes. So, do you want to tell us?
I'm Sushma Ramchandran, and I think you want to ask me what's my take on the budget. Well, I think there are 5 key important points, and number 1, of course, is the big thing is the corporate tax. And the reduction in corporate tax, which nobody really expected. Everybody wanted it, all corporates wanted it, but nobody really expected that he's going to do it. It's a big thing. The second thing, of course, which was expected was his push on infrastructure. And we have he's set up this new infrastructure fund, he's launched infrastructure bonds. So there's a lot on infrastructure. And the third thing, of course, is I think is very important to social security, which we didn't expect again.
And that's very interesting.
That's again very
so we will talk about some of these thoughts and build on it. We'll continue looking at the budget papers, finding more items we can put into trolleys to try and give you a sense of whether things are becoming costly or expensive. But for the time being, let me take you back to our studios.